Hello, this is our regular AI updates, artificial intelligence updates on Friday, May 30th. So we had Memorial Day recently. It was a federal holiday in the US. And the main slogan today will be from AI Copilot to AI agent, meaning from simple tab completion or small function completion to full-blown AI agents, like everybody is now providing them, and all models, not all models, but major providers, when you think you use a model, you're actually using an agent, which does multi-step processing of your request. Anyway, I will start with LM Arena because it was changed. So first of all, it became an official company. They raised 100 million. Second, they changed the way the leaderboard looks. So now if you click on leaderboard, that's what you see. And there are multiple leaderboards, and I will show text, and you can expand it, like click and then view all, and yeah. So there are a lot of data. So I'll be using two of them, text and web development. And they have different dates of update, as you can see. So for text, you see a lot of ChatGPT, I mean, a lot of OpenAI on top. But for software development, you see this blue, like OpenAI is yellow, and Google Gemini is red. Blue is Claude. And now this week, you see Claude Opus 4, Claude Sonnet 4, and then Sonnet 3.7, the previous one, and even 3.5, and even 3.5 Haiku. So Claude, I had this feeling that Claude is definitely very good for software development, and you can see it here. So for text, for chatbots, you can use Gemini or OpenAI, but for programming, I would really love Claude. Gemini is also good, as you can see, Gemini 2.5 Pro, May version, and this is another May version. Well, this is Pro and this is Flash. Flash is cheaper and faster. So at our company where I work, a startup, we use both of those. We use Claude and we use Gemini. Both are corporate enterprise account, and this really, really helps. Next, Anthropic AI Summit. So it was a one-day event in San Francisco on May 22nd, and there was a lot of hands-on development and discussions, workshops, insights, new tools. Claude 4 was announced, Anthropic Virtual Collaborator, networking. There were 500 participants. So some ideas which I want to highlight. So first of all, there was interesting conversation with Dario Amadei, the CEO of Anthropic, formerly from OpenAI, by the way. And so what he said, that AI models fabricate facts less often than people. So people complain about hallucination of LLMs, but actually people themselves hallucinate even more. It is just models hallucinate in a strange way, like not in a human way. But because they hallucinate less than people, so he believes that hallucination by itself should not block the path to artificial general intelligence. So it's an interesting idea. Another thing is voice mode. So this is when you talk to your model with personalities, real-time transcription, and even integration with Google Workspace. So this is great. So this is running with the latest Claude Sonnet 4. Another thing is Claude Web Search. Well, I used it for some time now because I have a paid subscription, but now Web Search is also available to everyone, to free subscription, not even subscriptions, just to free accounts. Next, DeepSeek. DeepSeek R1, as you know, it's a version of DeepSeek which has reasoning. So they improved it. So there's a new version dated May 28th. So it is free. It is available everywhere. It is twice faster than the previous one, and because of some compression techniques, it can use much less memory, and they made it available not just in 671 billion parameters, but they also made smaller versions of it, much smaller. So I'm not sure how they created. They probably distilled from the big one, but yeah. So now you can use DeepSeek on your laptop or on your phone. Next, Perplexity Labs. I really liked it, and I have access to it because I have a paid subscription. This is a $20 a month subscription for Perplexity Pro. So what it is, it's an area where you can do development, and they have online area when you can ask it to do something, it will do it in JavaScript, in Python, whatever, and then it can test it, it can run it, it can document it, it can create full-blown applications, sometimes just from one prompt if it is not too complex, and then you can download it. So they don't lock you up in the environment. You can download it and use it as you wish. I think this is pretty good. Or another thing, when you're creating this code and you want your code to use AI, different models, you can do that. Perplexity itself offers a variety of models, not their own, but other models, like for example Claude. So you can write application which, for example, will use Claude or something else in different pieces of the application. So more news. Google Stitch. This is very, very exciting. So this is a user interface designer. So it's web-based. It uses latest Gemini models, 2.5 Pro and Flash, and you can create designs for your web applications in browser or in phone. So it has separate interfaces for web and mobile design. You can load your sketches, your images, and ask it to use this, your colors. It has built-in theme editor, color schemes, adjustment tools. And what's great, it keeps coherence across multiple pages. And after you've done the work, you can export this code. So this is coming from Google. This is great. And this is the video which goes through the features. So this is Google Stitch, stitched together. Another interesting piece of news, United Arab Emirates, well, they're now cooperating with OpenAI. They're building infrastructure, investing billions and billions of dollars. But now they decided to provide OpenAI to all population, to all citizens for free. And it's not like free OpenAI. It is actually paid OpenAI. It's like $20 a month version subscription. So they now, the government like now gives it to all the citizens. So UI becomes the first country to offer free chatbot plus access to entire population. Another example, UBS, which is a Switzerland bank. We have branches of it here in New York. So they actually using AI avatars of their analysts. So they provide videos to their clients with financial analysis. And in those videos, there are like human avatars making the presentations. So they plan to scale. So right now they're doing it at like 5%, but they plan to scale to deliver like 5,000 of those videos annually. Very interesting. Next, ByteDance Seed 1.5 VL model. So ByteDance is a big Chinese company. It's a parent company of TikTok, and they released this new model called Seed 1.5 VL. So it's a multimodal video. Utilizes a very small number of parameters, only 500 million parameters for encoder and 20 billion for MOE LLM, right? So it's a text to image. Outperforms models from Google, OpenAI, Anthropic on most of the benchmarks. Very, very interesting. And they believe it's so good because they prepared the data very accurately. So it's a good training data. Another thing from China, from Tencent, there is a model, Hanyuan image version 2.0, generate images. What's interesting that how fast it does it. So you don't have to wait a minute or two. It actually does it in milliseconds. Milliseconds. Again, amazing. High quality, hyper realistic, accuracy rate exceeds 95%. So you ask it to do something, it does it, and you say, is it what you asked or not? So 95%. Multi-round text-to-image interactions, so you can adjust the image and can generate images while users are speaking. Amazing progress. And it's coming from a big Chinese company. Next, Sergey Brin's interview. So this is a YouTube link for this interview. Sergey Brin and Larry Page, if you remember, two co-founders of Google. So he returned to Google. He goes to work almost every day. He's very excited about AI. And this is very interesting interview. So AI's ability to process information at a volume humans cannot, for example, deep research, while generating detailed results. AI's impact on education and college, robotics, hardware, coding, AI models trend towards convergence, open source versus closed source, evolution of human-computer interaction, Gemini applications, increasing use of voice chat mode, AI in management. So about 20-minute conversation. I listened to it, highly recommend you to do so. Google processes 50 times more tokens than a year ago. So this is interesting graph, but this is true. This is a huge growth. And how is it possible? Well, they develop new hardware, they build new infrastructure, they develop new models which consume less resources. So almost 5 times more than 100 trillion tokens a month that Microsoft said they do, right? So much more than Microsoft. Over 7 million developers are using Gemini API, which is 5-fold increase since last year. Again, fast growth. Usage of Vertex AI surged more than 40 times. Unit cost keep falling, so models become cheaper and cheaper. Google Search AI mode rolling out in US. So we have now a button, and AI overviews already serving more than 1 billion users. World model. So he was talking about this idea that you have many different models, and as a result, you can have something which has the same vision and understanding as a human being. So it's understand, simulate, and interact with physical world, much like a human. Next, why Gemini model is named Gemini? And well, Gemini is the Latin word for twins. So you see this constellation, Gemini, twins. So this is how these twins are. And this is Project Gemini from NASA in 1960s. So there were 3 NASA programs, Mercury, then Gemini, and then Apollo. So maybe we will have Apollo model in the future. So Gemini program at NASA, they did not send people to the moon, but it was kind of preparation to next program, which was Apollo, where they actually sent people to the moon. Yeah. So interesting. Oh, another thing about Gemini. Gemini model, when it was first announced and released last December, not in 24, in 23, so it was like a year and a half ago. It was something really strange because it wasn't just text model, it was multimodal model, and it was trained from scratch as multimodal. So one model to deal with different modalities. So that's again why it may be called twins, because more than one modality in one model. And why Claude model was called Claude. So Claude Shannon is the father of information theory, and well, people joke that maybe it was selected because it's a male name, whereas many other AI systems like Alexa, Siri, Cortana were female names. But also because, well, he really did foundation work in 1948, a paper, A Mathematical Theory of Communications, where he talks about bits and messages and optimization and information, and he created this understanding, the term Shannon entropy or information entropy. So how you encode messages optimally. So this is the formula for Shannon's entropy. And yeah, uh, so Gemini and Claude, and these are two models which I love the most and use the most. Okay, OpenAI Operator agent. So now it will be using O3. Before I think it was using ChatGPT. GPT model. Operator is autonomous agent to browse the web and use tools, right? Next, AI shows higher emotional IQ than humans. So this is very interesting work. You see, it's neuroscience news. 6 models were tested on standard emotional intelligence assessments, and the AI achieved average score of 82, while human only 56. So models can understand emotions better than humans. Oracle investing $40 billion to buy 400,000 Nvidia GPUs. So they signed the deals, and we're talking about advanced Blackwell GPUs, GB200. And this will be for Texas Super Data Center, which is a core of OpenAI's Stargate program. Okay, next, Conf Search R1. So this is again coming from China, and this is work, and this is GitHub. Like what they do, they take your prompt and they rephrase this prompt to make it better. They reformulate using a two-stage like framework. Very interesting. Next, Nvidia to launch cheaper Blackwell AI chips for China in June. So, as you know, Nvidia moved their main headquarters to Taiwan, and because of US regulations, they cannot export to China like the latest chips. So they are coming with a new chip, which is cheaper, approximately 7,000 in comparison to 11,000. So it has a little bit weaker specs, well, maybe like 40% weaker, but it's much cheaper to produce and it's not limited. So they can produce it there and they can sell it to China. Same, by the way, with AMD. AMD is also having special models for China. Microsoft GitHub Copilot coding agent. So Copilot was just a copilot to do small pieces of code, writing small functions, writing a docstring to a function or something. But now it's a full-blown agent. So switch from AI assistant to autonomous team member. Well, I don't trust this team member from my personal experience, like with any of those agents. So it can resolve GitHub issue, create a draft pull request, iterate based on review comments, so it can work with GitHub. Operates asynchronously by spinning up secure development, analyzing code using reasoning. Available to Copilot Enterprise and Copilot Pro customers. Adding features, fixing bugs, refactoring code, improving doc security built in. Microsoft Azure AI Foundry, by the way, has a lot of models, like more than 10,000 models. Of course, some of the models just repeated multiple times, multiple version of the same model in different sizes, but still 10,000 models. Well, again, if you look at Alama, they used to have about 50,000. I will not be not surprised if now they have 100,000. So yeah, but still a lot of models. Mistral launches Agents API. So this API is, of course, you're using their model on their platform, right? So you cannot use it locally. And this is an API to work with those models. And this API allows models to use tools like web search, Python code execution, image generation, and RAG, access to MCP, which means access to some external APIs and databases via API calls. So what they say is that by adding search, the question answering accuracy improves from 23% to 75%. So now when the system can ground its answers in reality, in facts, by using search or API calls, it becomes much more reliable, dependable. Okay, next, Meta. So Meta, oh, by the way, Meta, like about billion requests per month currently. So they're ahead of Google and ahead of OpenAI in terms of how many requests they process, because they have WhatsApp and Instagram and their own messaging. They have multiple platforms where people use AI, maybe even not knowing that they're using it. So Meta is splitting its AI organization into two groups, one dealing with consumer products and another is a foundation team to do research and foundation models. Next, Recraft V3. So this is coming from London, UK, and this is text to image basically. It outperforms Midjourney and DALL-E, and it's a startup. They just raised $30 million. But good quality, and yeah, we need to continue monitoring their success. Next, Nemotron. So you know, Nvidia have their own platform and they have their own models. Many of these models also available on other platforms in open source for download. And yeah, I tried to make a list. Maybe it's not complete list. For example, Nemotron Cortexa reached the top of the software bench leaderboard, and cost is about 328 per problem. And yeah, I didn't find information on top of which model it is built, but most probably it's a 15 billion parameter Nemotron 4. Because there is also a bigger version, Nemotron 4 340, and you see how many different models the NVIDIA provides. Augmentcode, this is a coding assistant. So this is a company in United States. It's proprietary, not open, and the mission is to augment, not to replace human developers. So they decided that all this hype about autonomous agents not applicable to software development, but so it should be a collaboration between human and AI. So enable collective problem solving, multiple AIs, multiple humans, no training on customer code, enterprise grade security, accelerated development, fast onboarding, context engine, memory persistent, remembers past interactions and code patterns, multimodal support, so you can give it screenshots and Figma files, integrates with GitHub, Jira, Confluence, Notion, and whatever, VS Code, JetBrains, editors, runs terminal commands, installs software, manages Git operations. So yeah, quite comprehensive and maybe good. Next, Google Veo 3 video generation. So much excitement about it. High quality video generation, very realistic video. If you just like Google Veo 3 put in Google search, you'll see so many videos and examples. Very exciting. Can generate synchronized audio, including dialogue, ambient sounds, effects, background. So, well, not Hollywood quality, but close to it. Like users can upload reference images, maintain character consistency. It can do pans, zooms, angle changes, supports editing, adding and removing objects, and so on. And yeah, so Veo 3 now powers Google's new Flow filmmaking tool. And in order to get access to this tool, you have to pay $250 a month. So this is part of the Gemini Ultra subscription or via Google Vertex. So either way you pay, but it's a high quality video generation. Next, yeah, I spoke a little bit about managing AI software development projects. So if you have a project which is not one or two like scripts, but it's a bigger project. So you first good idea is to ask the model to generate the architecture, and I did this. I described the system to Claude and asked it to provide the architecture, and it provided something like this, but much bigger. So it was like more than 160 files based on all the details which I requested. So when you see a system like that, you cannot really ask Claude to provide code for the whole system at once. It's just it will not fly. So we thought that, okay, after we have this diagram, we can do piece by piece using Klein extension in VS Code. But our first experience after several days is that it's not reliable. Klein will do something that you absolutely don't expect. And so now we switch to the old way of coding, meaning still AI does the coding, but we just ask it in the browser, and then we copy paste after we verified that the code created is what we wanted. It takes longer, but this way we keep control. Look, like in this case, we're creating application which has a backend server written in Python and front end written in JavaScript. And then we also create a directory for prompts where we have also maybe files and directories for a big application where we keep prompts. So history of our communication with AI, asking it to write something or fix something. Software created by Lovable AI coding has exposed user data and leaked passwords. So Lovable has added a security scan. So AI cannot be trusted. Companies like Amplitude now mandate human audits of all AI-generated code. Again, AI cannot be trusted. Next, I want to talk about this company. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called Builder.ai, which recently went bankrupt. And at the top, they were valued at more than $1 billion, and they received about $450 million in total over the years. One of their major investors was Microsoft, probably the biggest investor. And the story was that they started in 16, so it's like 9 years ago in London, and it was overhyped, maybe successful. They were growing, multiple rounds of funding, and there was a story in 19. The Wall Street claimed that they're not actually automating using AI, but they're using human workers in India and Ukraine. But anyway, eventually, yeah, they filed for insolvency, bankruptcy. Total raised 440 million. Top valuation 1.5 billion. 1,500 employees. So it became a big company. And what they were promising is no code. And the thing is, if the platform with 450 million in funding couldn't automate, so well, this should tell you something. And yeah, from my personal experience and from experience of so many people and discussions, AI is not at the point to autonomously create software. Well, it can create software. It's like 500 lines of code, but not a real system. Tractors. Now summertime, and I drive tractor to cut grass and do some other stuff. And I'm thinking about driverless tractors. This is coming. They're not cheap, and it's not commonplace. But you see, there is no driver on these tractors. They're using AI. They're using 5G. They're using GPS navigations. They can work during the day and during the night. So this is something that's coming. Okay, jobs. So these are our usual graphs. So in May, there were quite a few layoffs. So here's interesting. 74% of CEOs admit their job is at risk if they fail to deliver measurable AI-driven business gains. 90% suspect employees are using Gen AI tools without approval. 54 admit a competitor already has a superior AI strategy. So it's basically use AI or die. AI is taking over entry-level jobs. Many young grads now have difficulty getting junior positions. But at the same time, the top positions, people who are doing like reinforcement learning, tuning of big models, they are paid like NFL stars, like they are paid millions of dollars. Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei just warned that AI could eliminate 50% of entry-level white-collar positions in the next 5 years. And he predicts that in half a year, AI will write 90% of software code. Well, it still will be monitored by humans, right? So it's not AI by itself, but most of heavy lifting is done by AI. He also believes the impact extends to finance, law, consulting, and other white-collar jobs with entry-level positions most vulnerable. Okay, this is me as usual, and thank you.